their habits are not good. They don't walk enough. They don't drink enough water. They don't eat healthy enough consistently. And even when people come in, it's like they may be eating healthy and doing everything right, but they're in such a huge deficit where the stress on their body is so major, where they're never going to lose weight.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to First Optimal Podcast. Really excited for our guest today. We have the master of the before and after, Mr. Joe W. Thanks for joining us, Joe.
I'm super excited to be here. I think we got some good stuff to talk about. First Optimal has been amazing so far, just being partnered with the brand. And I'm excited for the future. My clients are loving the treatment, and I think there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon. So I'm excited to get into things today.
Cool. Well, yeah, just for our audience out there, so we kind of, I'd say a higher percentage of our episodes have been a little more on women's health and some of those topics. We have a mixture of men's health, but I'm really excited today because what we're going to be going into for everybody tuning in is going to be talking about Joe, talking about how he works with men and women. We'll lean a little more with men today, but I think there's going to be a lot of gender neutral kind of type tips and suggestions. And as I mentioned at the opening, Joe has a lot of pretty dramatic before and afters and a lot of success in what he does with his clients specifically. So really excited to share that with the group today. But I thought, as I like to always start a lot of episodes, can you talk a little bit about how did you start your coaching business? How did you get to the point you're at now? Like, what was that journey like? And can you walk that through just so people kind of learn a little more about you?
In regards to building my coaching business, I kind of grew up an athlete, and I felt like I tend to grasp things pretty quickly. And I like to say I have an obsessive mindset where I have to really get good at anything I do. And I just want to be the best at anything I do. And I really enjoy helping people and seeing others get results based on the knowledge I have. So I started training, like personal training at a young age, like when I was 18 years old. I started my bodybuilding journey pretty seriously at 15 years old. Mm-hmm. I kind of got into fitness super hardcore just because I was an athlete my whole life, but it got to a point where I was super skinny. I hated the way I looked. My confidence was low. I was playing multiple sports, so I just couldn't keep up with the amount of food I ate. I was eating low quality food as just a kid in high school. So I really started to get serious once I hit a breaking point of where I just got embarrassed in the gym. I was benching only 95 pounds. I should be a lot stronger at the time, and it was just crumbling me on the incline bench. And ever since that day, I talked with a personal trainer at the gym that I knew, and I was just like, I need to get bigger and I need to do it ASAP. So immediately he just put me together a random meal plan, went to the grocery store and started following that religiously at 15 years old. And I just continue to see positive results. So when you're seeing results, obviously you want to be more consistent and continue to push. So for me, I think it was just having structure from a young age and seeing how much it transformed my life as I got into competitive bodybuilding. After graduating, I didn't go to the traditional route. So I kind of was always doing my own thing. So I really just think through pursuing progress with myself, getting deeper into bodybuilding, it just helped me want to help others because I saw a lot of people struggling with the same issues as me, self-confidence, not feeling good about themselves in general, clothes not fitting, whether it's weight loss or just trying to build muscle and just live in a body they truly love. So that really just inspired me to really focus more on social media, on building a brand where I can just help inspire people all across the world and just make a difference, because with me, I like to do the online stuff because when you're in person, I can't help everybody, but when I'm online, I can try to help thousands and thousands of people all across the world. So it's been a good build. I think it really took off majorly probably 4 years ago. I mean, growing up with the social media era and bodybuilding and doing so many things, I really just put my focus into coaching because that's really what I wanted to do and just change lives. And ever since I did that, it really blew up. Social media took off. So now I'm really excited and happy that I have an audience who's looking for value, looking to improve their life. So now I can just continue to flood social media with the education I have to change others' lives for the better. So it was a good buildup, but all it took was going all in. And just like for anybody else, all it takes is going all in on yourself to change your life. So that's pretty much what I did for myself with fitness and my clients. And we produce thousands of transformations per year.
Yeah, no, I think it's really unique too, especially with men or I see in the men's coaching space, if they have a bodybuilding background, they traditionally will go and just coach competitors. But what I really like about a lot of your before and afters, and this is something that resonated with me looking at a lot of your success stories, was it seems to me like you use some of those extreme methods that we have for bodybuilding and then scale it back and apply it to general population to still get some amazing results. Now, granted, you're not grinding them into stage prep, but is that a fair kind of, I'm over painting with a broad brush here, but is
no,
that
I think what you're saying exactly, and most people don't really recognize that, but I think with you being super advanced with your fitness as well, you kind of understand where I come from. So in bodybuilding and getting in crazy shape, low percentage of body fat, you have to control every single variable day to day. And that's the only way you don't have to guess. So I kind of took the strategy of what it took for bodybuilding, and I apply the same blueprint and strategy to all my lifestyle clients, busy moms and dads, because for them, they're frustrated because they're not controlling the variables. They're always guessing. They only get on the scale once a week, hoping it's going to go down, when in reality, it's all these variables they're not controlling that actually are hurting them from getting the result. So I just took the same strategy, like tracking your daily steps, your daily water, your daily sleep, your caloric intake, your training, volume, sets. So everything a bodybuilder would do, but we do it in a more manageable way so that we can be in control of the outcome instead of guessing and getting on the scale once a week, hoping it's working, when in reality, what's happening in between those 7 days? There's so much data. And if it goes untracked, you're going to go a while with probably no results.
Yeah, I would imagine too, you probably see an increase in compliance, even though no one's perfect. They're going to have their missteps, but I'm sure if you're tracking it, there's more cognizant of like, oh, I didn't get my steps in today, or oh, I didn't get that. Like, I'm going to step it up. Do you find it helps with like the accountability part for your clients?
I would say it's major because you have to win daily. Losing weight is hard. I tell people, whether you want to lose 10 pounds or 100 pounds, it's going to take the same amount of execution, effort, and energy, because we have to follow the plan. The plan is not going to work if we're not executing it. So being able to see those daily wins, like, oh, I hit my steps, I hit my water, I got good sleep, not only does it make you more educated, it makes you more in tune with your body, because when you see you're thriving, your body's responding. What was I doing? Was I locked in more, checking the boxes, versus the weeks where I had 2 cheat meals, really not hitting my steps, skipping a meal here and there? So I like this method because it makes people more in tune, more educated, and understand their own body like the back of their own hand,
Yeah, no, I think it's really important too, because you mentioned a couple things, like things that people don't think about in weight loss: water, sleep, steps. Can you talk a little bit more about how those, you've seen them help, maybe for the audience member out there that's just focused on just eating less and just trying to live on a treadmill? Like how do those areas kind of help impact their overall outcomes?
So I would say my 2 biggest things that I just hammer on my clients consistently, day after day, every single week with their check-ins, is definitely going to be daily activity. As you know, a lot of people sit at a desk, they don't move enough. So if you don't have that program into your day, your digestion's going to be slowed down, your metabolism's going to be slower, just because your daily activity is so much lower. So really tracking daily steps in water for more energy, better digestion, overall better hormonal function, hair, skin, nails, like all these just basic things that you do are going to improve your quality of life. And I tell people, if you started walking like 10,000 steps per day and you still ate like trash, but you slept more and drank a gallon of water per day, I guarantee your energy, digestion, and mood will be enhanced a million times. And then once you get that down, start adding in more steps. You don't have to start with a major lifestyle change. Just start with the basics. Let's drink more water. Let's get more sleep, and let's move more. And even doing that, compared to what you're doing now, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of positive results start coming your way off basics.
No, that's especially I know you're in the Midwest too, like especially in the Midwest for me, steps personally is a huge thing, where I'm fortunate that I have a good group of people that I train with pretty much every morning. And it's not by choice, but it's pretty intense because they don't really, one of them is always pretty amped up. So even if like two people show up, we've got usually a group of like 4 or 5 of us. But my point in all that is like, it's really pretty mind blowing how many times, even personally, as a guy who grew up in this space and live it, oh my gosh, I did 2,500 steps. Like, are you kidding me? And I
Yeah.
just imagine, what about the person who's out of sight, out of mind? Yeah, I'm 70 pounds overweight. I'm 30 pounds overweight. I need to get going. When you slap it on, you're gonna be like, 10,000. This guy's crazy, but start somewhere, right? I mean,
Yeah.
when someone first starts with you, I think for a lot of people out there, some of these concepts might be a little hard to grasp. Like, how do you bring someone from, hey, I'm new to this, I'm a little overwhelmed, I'm insecure, and it's too much, Joe, to like ramping them up to that ideal kind of flow per week?
So I say we always start with something sustainable. I would say 9 out of 10 times, an average human can probably get around 8,000 steps with effort. It's not too much, it's not too little, but it's going to move the needle. It's going to make a
Yeah.
drastic difference in your life. Now, if you're super overwhelmed, your lifestyle is really crazy, and it's just too much for you to start. Like, even we just start by ramping it up 5 to 6,000 a day. Because if you're walking an extra 3 to 4,000 extra steps per day, it's going to make a world of a difference. Because the average person, if you put in zero effort to exercise, like you don't really go to the gym, you don't leave the house much, you sit all day, I'd say the average person walks like 1,500 to 3,000 steps per day. Now, if you start walking an extra 3 to 4,000 steps just with those baby steps and putting an extra 20 minutes of effort per day, we just start building from there. Because the more you walk, the more you want to walk. You feel better and you need to move more. Because if someone who walks 20,000 steps a day, if I try to have them sit in a chair all day, they're not going to be able to do it because they don't feel good. They want to move. It helps their energy, their mood, the way they think, the way they feel. So I think just baby steps and building it up over time, like progressive overload. We're slowly pushing ourselves week by week, month by month, just to get a little bit better. And even just like 1% better daily. Try to walk an extra 100 steps per day, use it as a challenge. I tell all my clients, it's like game theory. Try to hit your steps faster every day and just treat it like a game, because the sooner you execute, the higher level you can continue to achieve once you prove to yourself that you can actually do it.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, because it goes back to, like, this isn't exactly what you said, but I'm going to tie it back into it. As you were saying, I was thinking about the old saying of, like, I get to versus I have to. Like, if I say I have to take my daughter to soccer, it's like, no, I get to take my daughter to soccer. It's a different mental framing. And although a lot of people might roll their eyes at it, I do think the way we communicate with ourselves, it's the same with the steps. Like, just make it fun. Like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get a few more in. I'm gonna go hit those stairs. It's cold, but I'm gonna park. Maybe I'm not gonna park as far out as I should, but I'm gonna meet it halfway.
Exactly.
I'm still gonna do it, because it's just those little inch by inch to get it going. I think it helps people. And then before you know it, you wake up 6 months from now. It's like, you were gonna walk anyways. Why not just track it and try to slowly improve it? And you wake up 6 months from now in better health or not. Hopefully you're gonna wake up in 6 months where you're gonna be, right? Like, so.
And I always tell people, just use it as time for yourself. You're always go, go, go. So I have my clients, I try to have everybody start their day and get at least 2,000 to 3,000 steps in, because if you don't start your day off on the right foot, you're going to start behind. So I tell everybody to start with a win, but it also gets your energy up. It'll get your appetite firing. You're able to eat more protein that day, which is obviously something we should always aim for, but also just peace of mind. You can pray, hang out, call your friends early in the morning, because life's busy. It's crazy, where you at least give yourself more time for yourself when you don't usually get it. So I think the more you walk, the more time you have for yourself and the more peace you'll have overall.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I know, so we talked about like tracking and how you kind of took that from the bodybuilding world and applied it. And I know you have a wealth of knowledge outside of bodybuilding, just in general health too, for people out there. So it's not like they're hiring a bodybuilding coach to do this only. But are there any other things that you kind of maybe hear from clients that you stole, if you will, from the bodybuilding kind of type mindset and apply it? Or maybe it's nutrient timing, or it's the way you set up their training. Is there anything else that comes to mind? Or
I would say all of my coaching and strategy comes from tons of mentors and my own personal journey of bodybuilding, like very religiously for 8 years straight, where I think everything is nutrient timing. Everything comes down to the steps, your supplementation, your blood work, your recovery, your sleep, where it's hard to say one specific thing, because I truly believe every single variable is so beyond important in its own way. Because the only way to lose fat is by managing stress and fatigue. And as you know, even a lot of our patients here, some people can't lose fat because they experience so much stress and fatigue daily, when in reality, their activity or the diet wasn't the problem. It's the variables we don't keep track of or be consistent with. So I would say there's no special recipe. It's just keeping all those variables maintained in a healthy way where it seems maintainable and balanced. Because even for anyone in their life, like if you feel something's out of balance, there's going to be a stall in progress. Like if stress is out of balance, activity is out of balance, nutrition's out of whack. It's like if things are out of balance, we're not going to have consistent results.
Yeah. So I would imagine, right? Like people come in, if we take men, right? So they come in and they're overstressed. All those things are not balanced. What are some of the things you're hearing men today show up to a consult initially with you as far as stressors or obstacles to weight loss? Are there any that come to mind that are kind of consistent? I know we're kind of broadly talking here, but
I would just say the biggest thing is everyone's habits, man. It's these variables. And I know I'll say it a million times, but it's like their habits are not good. They don't walk enough. They don't drink enough water. They don't eat healthy enough consistently. And even when people come in, it's like they may be eating healthy and doing everything right, but they're in such a huge deficit where the stress on their body is so major, where they're never going to lose weight. So I always tell people it's you don't know what you don't know, and it's all going to come down to these variables. But most of the time when I'm talking with clients or my team is talking with clients, it's just inconsistent habits. People think they can just eat healthy and try a little and get life-changing results. But if we want life-changing results and anything to grow and blossom, we need to be very intentional about it, especially if we expect results each week. So I would say based on what you put in, expect what you're going to get out. So if you're doing everything you can to be perfect and execute and invest in yourself, your health, your body, your hormones, and you're doing everything right, expect great results. But if you're putting in part-time hours and expecting major paydays, I would say you're wrong, and it's a mindset shift that needs to happen within you.
Yeah, I think that's a really well said, because I think a lot of times people look at the 3 to 5 hours, the 6, whatever it is, right? Like let's even give them a little more space, 8 hours, 6 hours a week in the gym. And it's like, what about all those other hours? Like, what are we doing? Or,
the
little details. Like, are there any, it brings to mind, I like to always ask coaches and especially ones with such a wide range of clients and the success stories you've had, what is the common like myths you hear where they come in, it's misinformation or misunderstanding about, have it be exercise, nutrition, activity, cardio, whatever the theme is? Are there a couple that come to mind maybe you could share and just kind of walk us through that?
I would say 2 to 3 things come to mind lately. So lately, the biggest thing is a lot of busy parents and just professionals. Training is a huge part to your transformation. We know that the more we train, the harder we train, the more muscle we will build, the more calories we burn doing nothing. So I tell people muscle is the number one currency, hands down, that's going to keep you in amazing shape, keep you healthy as long as possible, and keep you amazing. So we definitely need to be intentional with the way we attack it. So like prioritizing stretching, recovery, but also warm-up sets. A lot of people don't know that they need to do warm-up sets and get the blood flowing on certain exercises, where I had to kind of reprogram and go more in depth with this for certain clients, where it's like, if we're doing bicep curls, we need to do very light sets to get blood in the muscle and prime it so we can get that mind to muscle connection built and movement down, and not just jump into our weights. So a lot of clients' training sessions could be a lot shorter because they're going straight into their training failure sets with heavier weights, where it's like, if that happened to me, I wouldn't feel good. I definitely would have a lot of aches and pains. I definitely would need a lot more body work and recovery and feel tight, where I'd get beat up and exhausted, where I need to take a break. So I really think understanding training, warming up, and recovery around your training will make a world of a difference. And then also just ignoring the way you feel and sticking to the plan when it comes to nutrition. A lot of my clients, I wouldn't say everyone's undereating. A lot of people are undereating, but they can eat a hamburger and fries and get 1,500 calories easy, for example. But if I'm having you eat, let's just say 2,200 calories for the day in clean food, they feel like they want to puke and they can't digest it. And it's the hardest thing of their life. So I have so many clients that start so full, barely finishing their meals, but they're losing 5 pounds in their first week and their buttons are going to burst. So I would say just really trusting the process, utilizing digestive enzymes for overall better health. And I would just say make sure you're feeding your body properly, because the worst thing that you can do for your health and metabolic health is undereat.
Yeah. No, it's funny when you're mentioning the warm-ups too. It got me thinking, there's some younger guys at the gym. This is a couple months ago, and I've changed things. I want to say 3 years ago. So I'm finally in my 40s, and I'm seeing all these guys in their early 20s wearing like doing warm-ups, doing dynamic movements. And I coach too, like a volunteer coach for football. And so I have sports background, and they got all the wraps on and all this. And I was always taught, like, you don't wear a belt, you don't wear knee pads because it means you're weak. That was like the old school.
Yeah.
And anyway, so now I spend 30, 40 minutes sometimes literally warming up, dynamic warm-ups, waking things up, getting the core activated. And these guys came over, and I'm, I've been doing this for 25 years, so I got a pretty good physique and whatnot. And they're like, "Hey, bro, like, you're pretty jacked, man, but I haven't seen you touch a weight. Like, what do you do?" I was like, "You ain't been here long enough, man." I'm like, "I'm an old man, dude. Like, that's all. You just gotta wait a while." And it's just, these young guys are just like, "What?" Like, yeah, just, I gotta open these hips up, the lower back, get everything. Like, I can't be loading my spine with all this weight and not have the movement pattern be more tight. So, especially as people get older, and the body wear and tear, even though I've been active my entire adult life, it's just the wear and tear. You kind of, things happen.
Every day's a new day.
Yeah.
Every day got to get up and stretch and get loose.
And like guys like you and I, where we haven't, we're working from a computer, those hips will tighten up and all that. So getting movement is going to be key. So
yeah, I'm definitely a freak about stretching. I always have been. I pride myself on being 255 and still can do the splits every day. So I'm very flexible, and I think it keeps me very high level athletic performance, as I like to say.
Nice. I just restarted. It's been 7 years. I just restarted. I think my first class is Tuesday. Just restarted yoga myself to work that into my program.
I've always been interested. I never done yoga. I stretch a ton though, but I think I'd enjoy yoga, where I might have to
I really like vinyasa, because if you do like a vinyasa, it's hot. And if it's a good studio that has really good music and a good teacher that like guides you through it, it's basically like one breath, one movement. So as you move one way, you breathe in, you move the other way, you breathe out. It's the entire class. It's like a flow, they call it. I didn't understand it until it took me like 3 months to actually get the concept. But once you get into a rhythm, it's good. I really like it, because there's yin, which is more like sitting long times and poses, which I would still benefit from. But I just like the movement, because you're sweating, especially if it's a hot class. I mean, your heart rate's up, you're sweating, you're moving. So anyways, it's a good one. What's that?
Feels like a sauna in there.
Oh yeah. If you're doing like what do they call it? Brickman, or I'm saying it wrong, but
hot yoga.
Just like a hot yoga basically. And I always check like what's the temps, because one of the fitness clubs I was fitness companies I was a part of, they had a really, really good yoga program, and it was like top of the art heating system, music system, beautiful floors. I was like a snob,
it's nice.
That was my introduction to it, was being a yoga snob. And then now if I go to like a local place, I'm like, oh man, it's like, but I still need it. So
yeah, no, that's fun. Yeah, I got to get some yoga.
It's all good stuff. So, well, what about nutrition? Like, what are some common things, men or women, that are popping up with nutrition? I know there's a lot of stuff online or social media, like eat this, don't eat this, drink this, don't drink this. Like, it just depends on who you follow, what to do. So what are some things that pop up that you just kind of have to always unpack and explain more?
I think my motto is, I learned this ever since bodybuilding at a young age. If you have time to eat a snack, you have time to eat a meal. I know people always make excuses just because they're lazy to meal prep. They don't want to do the hard stuff, where they're always reaching for the snacks, the protein bars, the processed everything. And like I said, nothing's wrong with that, but we're always aiming to have the highest level of fuel in our body. It's like, I prefer a whole food all day long than having like Hot Pockets and a frozen dinner. Like, just saying it out loud, you understand the difference in the way you're going to feel. So I would just say the biggest change for a lot of people is meal preparation, more whole food, getting used to spending more time in the kitchen, at the grocery store, and getting uncomfortable and not always making the easiest choice. But when it comes to diet, I mean, I wouldn't say there's nothing bad. Like, I always tell people, everything's in moderation. It's like some people say peptides are bad for you, but they eat like crap. So I would just say it's all a balance. Like if I eat healthy, I take care of my body, I train, my hormones are in check, and I like to have some crappy food every so often. It's all about balance, you
Right.
know? So I would say that's the biggest thing with nutrition is don't go too extreme with anything unless you're just going to eat whole food. I'd say that's a great extreme thing to do. But it's just balance. Always try to pick a whole food option. It's always going to be the best bang for your buck with the way you feel and perform. And just get used to doing harder things with nutrition, and that's staying prepared ahead of time and doing what you need to do.
Yeah, I'm definitely that guy where like even with my experience, knowledge, prepping meals, all that. If I had to figure out some other hacks, like, and so I want to talk a little bit about those because like I'm the guy that would just grab something. But I luckily we finally got to a point, even though we have 10 and 13-year-old girls in our house, that there's really not many snacks in the house that are not good. So,
Yeah.
but I was going to share this really quick. This is one of my recent go-tos just because I'm not saying it's better than like
On
just getting
Amazon, right? Or
this is actually Costco, but yeah, I've been using these little guys.
I use them every single day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was like, what are some other like quick hacks? Because I use these. I've used like, flavored tuna packs. Some people may be like, well, I don't like tuna, but it's just different options. What else kind of comes to mind?
And I would say this is that thing where people think, oh, you're using microwavable everything, where I'm like, I'm making the best choice possible and it's better than eating crap. I'm still getting good macros in, where it's like, I say I do meal prep delivery for my meats. I still do cook a lot of meat, but I like to have meat that's cooked from a delivery service that's ready to go. So then I can have my frozen vegetables, just pop them in the microwave easy, the frozen rice packets. But like if you're super busy and on the go, a lot of people make excuses with that. But I would just say, I do this with a lot of our nurses, is just blended smoothies as meals, because they'll just graze and eat all the crap at work, where it's like, if you have time to take a few swigs of water, you have time to drink a smoothie that has all your macronutrients in it. So I'm talking like 2 scoops of whey protein, oatmeal, banana, blueberry, 2 cups of Fairlife almond milk, add ice, Splenda, blend, and you got a delicious smoothie ready to rock, getting your full calories in.
No, it's actually, it just reminded me, because now I'm like, dang it. Like this week with starting, because my schedule the last 3 weeks been a little off, but I just started after training jiu-jitsu in the morning, like my plan today, which I failed. So I gotta go do it after this podcast, but was a shake. But one of the things I'm doing, all the things you mentioned, but then I started dieting like chia seeds or flaxseed and like really loading the fruit, because it's almost a year ago now, but I had a dietitian on and we were talking about fiber, and I'm like, man, I haven't measured my fiber in years. I bet it's good. One day it was like 3 grams, 8 grams, 10 grams. I'm like, I need to at least be at the minimum, which is like the target is 35 a day. And I realized such a big difference in gut health, blood sugar crashing, getting the toxins out of the body faster. For those who, are ramping up fiber at first, it can kind of take a minute to get the digestion used to it. But is that something you see too? Is it that's lacking in the diet, or how do you guys approach fiber?
Always lacking. I mean, for us, I always say this is my personal approach with nutrition. I'm definitely big on having a decent amount of fiber in your diet, but I would rather prioritize a fiber supplement to supplement in, so that people are able to eat more of the foods they like and enjoy, so that they can at least be more consistent with their total macro intake, and then guiding digestion through a fiber supplement, digestive enzymes, things along those nature, just to have the perfect balance. Because like I said before, everything's about balance. So if you don't mind a more fibrous diet with certain foods, you can eat more clean and you enjoy that, perfect. That's my preference. But if I know for you need something more sustainable, have a little good stuff in there, a little sweet tooth, I'd rather supplement in the digestion protocol to make sure we can still get that bang for our buck, but just have that perfect balance depending on the person.
If I do like a Greek yogurt snack, I'm putting like different mixture of different, like I said, chia seeds or flaxseed or whatever, with some fruit and kind of mixing it in. So I would say like mine's like 60-40, probably 60%, just one of those ground up things. I would call that more of like a supplement, even though it's it's not, it is
a little addition to your meals.
Yeah. It's more of an add-in than like the actual food as the fiber source, but it's still, I've noticed helping. And then to your point earlier about like the snacking, like it helps the snacking. But yeah, just when you mentioned the smoothies, I'm like, dang it, I was just getting on the road of that. Cause again, no excuses. But I'm going to complain for a minute because, I'm the one with the microphone in front of me. So, but my daughter's leaving the dirty blender or not replenishing the ice. So I'm like, all right, every night I'm making sure it's refilled. We're ready to rock. And
it's worse than having to rewash the blender when you're going to use it because it's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah. Another obstacle, another barrier, right?
Yeah. Another reason to eat off plan.
Well, and now you can share with those who have the busy life with the business, and you got a little one yourself, right?
Correct. Yes.
How old?
He's gonna be 8 months in like 6 or 7 days, so it's going quick.
Nice. Yeah, and how's the sleep with that?
So sleep's actually been really good. We go through some ups and downs when he got sick earlier in the year. That was not fun. I think it's the worst thing ever having a sick kid because it's very hard to control, and you're not really in control because the crying, screaming, it feels horrible. But we've been blessed with a good child that sleeps 8 to 10 hours per night. So
nice.
I would say after 3 weeks of him coming home, he's been sleeping 8 to 10 hours ever since, minus when he was sick.
Nice. Yeah, it's always such a shock. I have a buddy who's, what is he, 43, 44. He kind of had his first a little later in life. And I was talking the other day, I'm like, isn't it the greatest thing in the world, but it's like the worst thing short-term for your health because like he's not sleeping. And, part of it's the adrenaline of like, oh, is she still breathing? So it's cool. But I think, it's helpful for people to know, oh, this fitness guru who's changed all these people's lives, like, oh, he's normal. He's had his own struggles. Like he's going to have bad days where he didn't sleep. He's going to miss his steps. He's going to miss stuff, but it's more consistency over time is often what I see.
And I think just don't expect results overnight. Like obviously you can hope for it and work for it, but I mean, everyone's body's different. So definitely don't compare yourself. You live a complete different life than the other people that you see online or your friends, So I would say comparison's the thief of all joy. And as long as you're getting better, you're feeling better, regardless how long it takes, if you're moving in the right direction, that's what matters most.
Yeah. And what is that? Because you talked a lot about the mindset. Like, again, I know we're talking broad here, but like, what does that look and feel like? Is it a lot through texting? Is it through calls? Like, it sounds like I would imagine, I guess, walk me through, like, how do you keep people inspired? How do you keep them from walking into that victim mindset or kind of this happened to me and I'm off my game? And like, what does that look like for you?
I would say we definitely communicate daily with all of our clients just because it saves time where we don't have to get to breaking points where we need to get on crazy long phone calls and restart everything. As soon as problems arise or you see something happening, it's like communication's big. That's the number one thing I nail straight into the coffin every time somebody comes on board. Because it's like, if we don't communicate well, you're not going to have good results. This is never going to work. You're not going to enjoy the program because you're not getting your money's worth and doing everything you need to transform. It's like, right. I want to help you in every area. So as soon as you're struggling, you're slacking with meal prep, every little thing, it's like, we just jump on it as fast as possible. And I think building a community is major. I think the best part about my program is just the team we've built and the support we have and the friends we make. Like each year I have a big team retreat where, as I'd say, anywhere from 50 to 100 people fly out for an event.
Oh, nice.
And it's just really big. It's really like a family because every Friday we have a team live stream where everybody comes on. If you want to join, where it's like we talk, we hang out, we go over wins, losses, struggles, great things, bad things. And just, we really support each other because everybody that has something to share is always going to help someone else with the response. And I would say the most important thing is you and we're surrounded by great people in the industry who are motivated, healthy, driven to live their best life and like want to be successful in all areas. But most people don't have that. It's not normal to have a friend group and just the people around us like ours. So we may be the only person in their life that motivates them and pushes them to be better. And that is most of the time the case. I'm the only outlet for these people and my team and the other clients in the program where it's like, these are the only people they have that actually motivate them or tell them good job or fire them up when they're doing good. Because everyone else in their life pulls them away. They feel lonely. They don't have anyone. So I think community is just what we've built. It's amazing. And I think that's what keeps people going because if you're in the program, you have the best support system in the world, and I'll do anything it takes to make sure you're happy and succeeding. But if you're not, it's like, it's not always guaranteed to be there. So just making sure you have the right people around you, that will change your life for sure.
Yeah. And so that's every Friday, you said? Most Fridays?
Every Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. So we got off like an hour and a half ago.
Nice. And it's like everyone logs in and just kind of shares what's going on. And
yeah, I usually ask a lot of questions, but it's a lot of regulars, you know, for the some people that can pop in, you pop in, but not everyone's going to be there each week. Sometimes it's small. And I tell people it's open office hours. We can discuss certain protocol and plans in front of everyone, because then they'll ask questions about that, where it's like everybody's helping everyone and everyone's always learning on a call, or at least building a better relationship or knowing who's on their team. Because I tell people it's like a family. It's like it's a team, you know. So I want everybody to know each other so it can be more fun and more interactive. It's like going to the gym but not having any friends and not saying hi to anyone. It's not going to be so much fun if you got no friends.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's so smart, because a lot of the coaches that I have talked to that have like a really high retention rate, and I know it's high retention rate because I see, when you see before and afters, and we're going to pull some of yours up in a moment, but when you see that like 50 pounds, 75 pound, 80 pound, you know, that's when you know, like, this is someone who's building community, because these people are not falling off. Because in order to get those results, they got to be with you for some time. It's just a mathematical equation. Like, they're not going to lose that in 3 months, you know? So I think that's super smart. Like, that's definitely, and I would imagine it makes it like a really fun place to work for your team too. Because you get to actually hear directly from the people that you're helping, which, you know, oftentimes if you're doing the work and you don't have that continued feedback, it can be a little challenging.
Because it's like, if you're chasing after a big goal and you never get told good job or moving in the right direction, it's like, am I doing good? You know, it's easy to fall off and get in your own head. So I think just having the coaching, the guidance, the mentorship is really the biggest thing. Because I know I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for mentors and guidance and coaches and people wanting to see me win and be my best.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of these. So tell us a little bit about this guy here.
So this is actually he was actually the best man at my wedding. He's actually my buddy Drew. This was a 14-week cut it was a bodybuilding competition. It was a last minute thing, but it just goes to show, if you do everything you possibly can properly for an extended amount of time without skipping a single beat and being perfect, how fast your body can transform.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a quick one. This one right there that you're actually on, that's actually my wife. So when we first met, my wife lost, well, I've known her for a while, but we kind of started dating, and I told her if we wanted to be together, I'm like, I'm at the gym every day at 6:30 p.m. So she started training with me back then, 6 days a week. She started eating all whole food, following a diet. And I think in 8 months, she lost 75 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So she killed it.
That's awesome. What about this one right here?
So this is Susan. She used to be my old poster child. I have a million different transformation photos of her, but this is just one we put together. That's actually my wife's best friend, and she always struggled with her weight. She would just cry all the time, depressed, and just always was, honestly, she would say she hated her life, you know, 'cause, like, she never felt happy. And now she's the nicest, most caring, happiest person in the world, all because she lost 85 pounds, built a healthy lifestyle, built tons of muscle. And she's so smart. She's been with me for 3 years, but I mean, she lost her initial 75 pounds in probably 9 months. And then obviously just body recomposition, where she never gave up. And now she's actually pregnant, having a child. So she's paused in the program at the moment. But as far as Susan, I think that's one of my most proud transformations for the person she became and how smart she is. She knows nutrition like the back of her hand, where it's like she could teach someone how to get in shape based on everything she's learned and mastered throughout the program.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. What about like this one right here in the middle? That's a pretty big change too.
Yeah, this is Kelly. Kelly was just stressed, a mom with a lot of kids, unhealthy habits, eating once a day, never working out, not prioritizing her health. So really for her, it was just about creating simple structure, definitely getting her hormones back in check, and just building through basics and doing it over time. So, I mean, I don't think she ever worked out more than 3 days a week with weight training. I think cardio at most was 2 to 3 times a week, and just daily steps, daily nutrition, prioritizing habits, optimizing hormones, and just being consistent, you know, managing the variables. And then it's just a time game of how fast things can happen.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I got a couple others here. Like what about this one here?
So Kim is definitely my new poster child for women. She's actually lighter now. She's lost over 115 pounds in my program in 13 months.
Wow.
She is the description of hard work, consistency, and never skipping a beat. When she first started, I honestly didn't believe or think we could get this far. But to see the woman she's become now and how hard she trains, it's just mind blowing. Where sometimes I can't even believe it's real, because when I see them, I spend a lot of time with her in person because they actually came out to meet me, her and her husband, because her husband's also in the program. I just can't even fathom that they never looked like this. Like the person they were before, who I'm talking to and hanging out with in training, it's just mind blowing that it's like this used to be you, and I can't even believe it.
Wow. Yeah, and with like her program specifically, do you remember any like anecdotes of like how she started and her struggles and what were some maybe breakthrough points for her, just if anything comes to mind?
I would say the biggest thing, we definitely got our hormones dialed in, lab work, hormonal optimization, and then two, just habits. Like
Right.
from coffees all day and snacking all day to whole food meals, working out 3 days a week, basic to start. I think it was just body weight workouts to start. Walking, and these habits and these pillars just absolutely changed her life. Because when the results come, you just get obsessed with getting more results. Because it's like, if I lost 3 pounds this week, and it wasn't even that hard, I'm gonna keep staying consistent. And for her, I really just think it was consistency the whole way through. And
Yeah.
that's her husband in the blue tank top pulled up.
Okay. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
dropped quite a bit too. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So he lost 75 pounds. And now, like, he was just a normal corporate guy working professional, always was a good leader, but he just wanted to look like one. So he's definitely changed his life. And now he's just become so dialed in with fitness and training, where now he wants to push himself to the next level, to even try to get into bodybuilding and going more competitive with this, because he just fall in love with the process of getting better so much.
Oh, that's awesome. And just for people who are listening on audio, like, can you give just a shout out to your website so they can go check out some of these before and afters?
So I would say, if you're looking to get in the best shape of your life and actually build sustainable habits and become educated so that you can maintain good health for the rest of your life, you can always visit www.bodybywalks.com to book a free consultation with myself and the team to chat. This way we can just put together a simple strategy that's going to fit your lifestyle and make it easy to stick with, so that we can get you in the best shape of your life, or at least feeling a million times better within the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. No, that's good stuff. I mean, just walking through kind of some of those success stories, it's cool to see the different body types, the different backgrounds, all those things. Um, so yeah, no, that's good. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about just like what, because you're busy, you're running a business, you have an 8-month-old, a wife, you got, personal responsibilities. Obviously, just so those out there, like I'll pull it up so I can see you're really, you're engaging, you're interactive with your contents. You have, um, I know you have a partnership with Bucked Up, so they reached out to you as like, like uh content and promotional stuff. How do you approach your week? What does it look like for your training, for your, all the things you're juggling? Like, what does that look like for you?
So
Oh,
I would
there's your
say,
little guy.
yeah.
I'm a nut for babies, so my family makes fun of me. I love babies so much.
We'll get some more family content coming soon for you. But as far as my weeks, I would say I love work. I love being involved in everything I do. I like to be the eagle's eye watching over the nest, just making sure everything's running smoothly. I just like to be involved and know what's happening. So I work around 7 to 5 every day, usually hanging out in the office. And then that's Monday through Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm actually doing some pro wrestling training. So I'm usually
I saw that.
gone from 5:45 to like 9:45 Monday through Wednesday. So those are long days. I hang out with the family in between throughout the day. And then Thursday, it's usually my time off. Once I get off work, I just hang out with the family, relax. And then late in the evening, I play hockey, competitive men's league. Then Friday after work, I train, take my wife out on a date. Saturday, I wake up, get a haircut, train, and then spend time with my wife and child all day. And then on Sunday, wake up, hang out, church, hang out all day with the family and relax and do it all over again.
Good stuff. Yeah, and talk a little about the pro wrestling stuff, because I think, yeah, I saw some of your videos about that. I think that's kind of fun.
So I went to a WWE tryout last July. I got an extended tryout to move forward and move into a potential contract. But at that time, I just moved across the country to Chicago like a month before. And then I just had a kid a week before my tryout. And of course, I'm not going to miss the opportunity to go dance with the WWE and for the experience and see what can happen. So I went out there. Things went amazing, but we just decided that it was best for our family at the moment not to move forward, because what moving forward would look like, we'd probably have to move across the country again in 2 months, and then it'd be a bomb blowing up to try to juggle. And my wife already sacrifices a lot for my lifestyle, so to try to do a bunch of craziness in that short of a time, I don't know if she'd still be with me. No, I'm kidding. But now I potentially have an upcoming tryout that I'm just training for. But regardless, I like wrestling. I really enjoy it. It's something I love to do. So you may see me making appearances here in the near future for some productions.
Nice. It sounds like it'll be fun. What about I mean, I love the intentional date night every week. Actually, we were just talking about that because we've kind of been off we had some, like I said, some illness, unexpected car issues, and then it was like she was talking today, like we need to get back on the routine. I was like, I agree, but what is, so you got the Fridays. What about working out? Like, how do you guys still train together? Like, what are any hacks there for productivity and fitting all that fun stuff in?
So we kind of have two complete different schedules. My wife trains when she can train, just because the reality of being able to do it at the same time, somebody watch the kid. I mean, it's kind of impossible. So she has her structure. I have my structure. I have a training partner that I like to say is my best friend. So I love to be able to spend time with him and train. And also, it's time to get out of the house, have some bro time and chat. So I usually have a training partner, but I train right now with weights only actually twice a week to maintain my physique. So I do one full upper body day and one full lower day. And then I'm doing a lot of body weight movements and stuff for cardio and conditioning throughout the week. But I'm in a spot right now where I'm just trying to maintain and achieve perfect health with my lab work, the way I feel, the way I perform with First Optimal, but also just maintain a physique, a good body fat percentage, and be happy. I'm not trying to put on a bunch of muscle or be the biggest guy in the room. I'm just trying to feel healthy, love the way I look, and kick butt every day.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I appreciate you sharing that. And just kind of, if you wouldn't mind, just one last, just overview for those listening on audio, like your Instagram accounts and your website, just kind of for people who want to get plugged in, learn more about what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. As far as all social medias, in reality, if you just search Joe Wachs, Wachs, you should be able to find me on all platforms. We're pretty active every single platform. You'll see a lot of coaching content, family-styled content, lifestyle content, sport content. So everything I try to do is fitness related. It's a huge part of my life, but I also love family, hanging out with my friends. So you also see a little comedy thrown in there. But as far as coaching, feel free to book a free call. Don't be afraid to learn more, because it can be one phone call that changes your life. And the same thing goes with when my clients come to First Optimal. It's one phone call away from truly changing your life, because once you dial in your hormones and you feel amazing and your energy goes through the roof, you feel like a new person, you're more consistent with your goals and habits, you're motivated again, and you feel like you're 20 years old. So I always tell people the free consultation is free for a reason, to see if this is something you want to do. And if it is, it'll change your life if you go all in.
Yeah, it's like just take the step and talk to somebody, right? And get in those things. But obviously you have a lot of the proof. You got the community already built in. I mean, yeah, I just think back. I mean, it's been a while, because I was more primarily dating myself a little bit, but it was like online coaching as much. So it's a lot more in person. But I remember always trying to do that, like pull together and I would do like seminars and stuff to pull the group together. And it really helped get everybody talking. They can all tell stories and make fun of me, and just
different methods, different times. Like, I think online coaching really started to become a thing in like 2016. So it's still fairly new, but it's improving the health of millions all across the globe. And before, it's like we had, well, I'd say health is now on the horizon and getting bigger than ever. There's always seasons where it was kind of but I think whatever way we had to get it done, we'll get it done regardless,
Right. Good stuff. Well, thanks again for joining the episode today. Appreciate that. And for everybody listening in, be sure to like, comment, give us a follow, subscribe to the channel. But when we say comments too, we really do mean it. Like, put your questions in there. We have future live streams and webinars. We're going to answer your questions, but also we'll plug you in with Joe directly. So if you have specific questions for him, our team will send you his contact info so you can just plug directly in with him, get those answers you're looking for. And don't be afraid to ask. We're here to help. As you can hear in Joe's passion today, he's definitely really passionate about helping people. And so don't be shy, reach out, ask those questions. Let's get everybody healthy. So
boom.
There you go. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you.